All right, there we go. Hey guys, Foxy Fern here, and welcome to the first stream of probably a few of animating a quadruped run cycle. We're doing a run cycle instead of a walk cycle. I just thought it'd be a little more interesting just because we've already done a walk cycle on this channel, and because I thought it'd be fun. So that's what we're doing. And here today we have this friendly little ox guy, and you can download him for free. I tried really hard to find a decent free quadruped rig so that you guys can do this too if you want. I haven't like animated with him yet, but he seems pretty good. Just the little futzing around with the controls I've done. The only downside I think is going to be potentially when we get a bunch of keyframes on him, he's maybe going to like not play back in real time. It looks like maybe it's already a little choppy. But hey Tom, welcome to the stream as usual. Glad to have you here. Let's see. So I've set up a few buttons here. I've just got like select all controls. And then I have a button for selecting what I think are going to be the main controls that I want to key. Because there's a lot of controls on this guy. He's got a full facial rig, actually. If we turn on this layer here, you can see he could be a fully animated, like, lip sync character, I think, anyway. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than that Sam rig we were using for the jump. But he can open his mouth here. Oops. And we can... Oh, that's his teeth. That's interesting. So I don't know what he's got for actual lip. He's got like a little bit, but it might not be like the greatest character for actual lip syncing. But you could at least, you know, give him some character. Maybe we'll do that for a run. We'll have either like brrr, be angry as always, ready to charge someone. All right, so let's see. I'm just gonna check sound levels here. Seems like everything's okay. Please let me know if something doesn't sound good. I started off with the wrong microphone was selected by OBS, so that would have been fun. But looks like we've got the right one now, so. Alright, so I dug up some video reference for this guy, because as I always say, reference. Unless you've done something a million times before, or, you know, maybe you're working on something that really doesn't have video reference. I don't know off the top of my head what that would be, because even some, like, fantastical creatures or cartoony creatures, like, you'd still want to look up reference to get an idea of what you wanted to do, right? So this guy, we've got, I did actually search for ox, and not a lot came up, but we got bison stuff, and I think a bison is gonna work just fine. I don't believe there's gonna be a huge amount of difference in physiology between these two animals. Perhaps this character having like really big horns versus, you know, bison doesn't usually have horns like that might like affect the way its head moves or something, but it's gonna be very subtle because they're just both really huge creatures. So I couldn't really decide here what I wanted. Oh my gosh, I have so many. We need to narrow this down, but let me just give you an example of what we have here. Some of these are like slow motion, excuse me. Some of these are just like slow motion. Like this one is not quite slow motion, but it's not quite full speed either. So I do like having some slow motion stuff. My gosh, I don't want this to default to QuickTime, but also it's annoying trying to tell it to open up. There. This is real time, although they're running a little bit faster. You can see that their gaits are a little faster in this other video. Like this guy is a bit more of a trot. He goes He's got like all 4 hooves at the ground at one time here, whereas these are running a little faster. And what else do we have here? Once again, I just found these at Getty Images, as you can see by the watermark. I think it's a great source for finding high quality video reference as an animator. Obviously, I can't use this video in any sort of production type of thing, but as far as using it for animation reference, it does just fine. I don't care if there's a watermark on it for my reference. Oh my gosh, so many videos. Apparently I can't just like select all of these and say open with QuickTime at the same time. It's really annoying. All right, we're going to just get a few of these and decide what we want here. All right, so this is just a rear perspective. I'm just gonna keep this up on my other monitor because we will want that at some point. And this one, that's a nice slow motion. What I want to decide right now is like what kind of gait we're gonna do. I think this is actually pretty good here, but it's in slow motion, so it's not a good one for me to determine the length of my animation on. I like this one because the camera is steady versus all the other ones are kind of following them, so it's a good way to see stuff like see his head bobbing up and down here. We can't see the bottoms of his hooves, so I wouldn't want this to just be my only video reference, but we have other video reference for that. But you can still get a pretty good idea based on like the shape of his legs here as they come up off the ground of what the hooves are probably doing when they come off the ground. But so this guy's walking too slow. I definitely want some kind of gallop or trot. So we will keep this one. That's a good real-time video. Again, another slow motion, but this is a front view, and we can't fully see all of his feet again because like he's in the snow, and which also is going to affect the way that he runs. But once again, I liked this as just another perspective so that we can see what's happening from the front. And, you know, maybe he's like moving his head up and down a little too much here as he's like trying to push through the snow. But we'll keep that as well for later on. Now, these are all kind of similar, so I should probably decide what I want here. Wow, my voice is hoarse today. That's great. Voice decides to be hoarse when I want to stream. This one probably isn't the greatest. They're going a little slower than I want in this run, and I think we have enough other videos, so we're gonna close that one down. This one's pretty good, I think, as far as like getting the speed. Let's see. Does this guy run? I'm looking at the 2 in the front here. Let's watch his foot pattern. Okay, so here's like a key pose right here where he's got his 2 front hooves off the ground. Let's see if that's kind of what this one is running like. No, it's not. See, this is why the slow motion is a problem, because it's hard for me to tell just exactly how fast it's running. Actually, that is pretty close now that I think about it. It was like, this gait here is not quite right. It's like he's picking up speed or something here, but it's pretty close. How about this one? So this one, he's got 1 foot on the ground while he's in a passing position. Kind of like this one. But his back feet are still on the ground, so I think he's going a little slower. Oh wait, no, they're not still on the ground, my bad. Okay. This one is also kind of the slow motion though again, isn't it? Yeah. So I think I'm going to close this one out, and we're going to use this guy as our basis for timing. I guess this side view one is also real time, so that could be a better judge of the speed, but okay. So let's get ourselves just a cycle to start with. And I might change this on my own as we start to see what it looks like. As far as like cartoony versus realistic with this guy, I think since all I'm doing is like a run, I'm conflicted, I guess, because I don't do a lot of cartoony stuff, so maybe it'd be a good idea for me to try my hand at it. But at the same time, I've had a lot of people like really like the fact that I'm doing body mechanics stuff, because there's like, it's easier to find videos on cartoony animations than on body mechanics, it seems. So I might kind of like go somewhere in the middle where I'm going to try to make it like a realistic bison run from the base of it, and then we might just push it a little more. And so it'll still feel like a bison, but I also don't want it to be like the Uncanny Valley, right? Where if you have this hyper realistic motion on a cartoony character, it's going to feel really weird. But let's go ahead and get this for our basic cycle. Now, as far as my start and my loop pose, you know, if I'm working on a game and I'm doing a biped, I start with passing pose for blending purposes. Now on a quadruped, I actually have never animated a quadruped in a game before, so I'm not sure what the appropriate pose would be on the animal. I mean, okay, I take that back. I have animated quadrupeds in a game, but they were like really mishmashed kind of spore-like quadrupeds. But their passing position, it's like, oh, which passing position, right? So maybe we just start with like, let's see. Maybe we'll just do like I would do in a game where we're gonna start with the front left foot on the ground, passing position. So this would be like our first pose here. All right, so we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 16. Okay, so about 16 frames. And I believe this video is in 30 frames per second. Oh god, we have so many videos now. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many do I have open over here? Ah! No. There we go. I lost all my videos. Okay. So we'll squish this guy down to 16 frames. And we're gonna see how that goes. So part of the reason I chose to do a quadruped for this stream, and still a very basic motion, but not quite as basic as a walk, is because I've been seeing a lot of people on like the animation Facebook group that I'm a part of, and other places like on Reddit and whatever. People will do quadrupeds, walking, running, etc. And the biggest mistake I see is that so often the front two legs feel like a different animal than the back two legs. Now, I don't know why that is a common mistake. It would be hard for me to know exactly why that is happening, without seeing what people's processes are. But what I'm guessing is that what people might be doing is just animating the front two legs like this, and then they're like, okay, that looks good, now I'm going to animate the back two legs and just like offset it or whatever. And then if you're not animating the animal as like a whole entity, it is going to feel like two different creatures. So it's definitely important to be animating the whole animal all at once, which is a little more time consuming because they've got four legs and whatnot. And you know, when you do look at these videos here, the front legs do move differently than the back legs, so that's okay. But it should still feel like the pairs of legs belong to the same creature. Or the other thing that I've seen, I saw someone make like a camel animation, and it was a really well drawn animation, but the camel was actually walking like a dog walks. And if you go look up videos of a camel, they walk very differently than a dog does, or run. I think it was a run, but so yeah, video reference is important, guys, especially if you've never animated what you're animating before. And I can tell you, I have not animated a bison running. I think I did like a horse walk once back when I was in school. And outside of that, I haven't really animated quadrupeds. I did a dragon thing in my demo reel, as some of you have probably seen. But that was not a quadruped. Let's see. This animation, we determined... Yeah. It was actually 17 frames because I didn't count the first frame that we were on. So this is 0 to 16 is what we want. Right. So I'm going to just save a key at -1 just in case something goes wrong, and then we have ourselves our default pose, because these aren't always rigged in their skin pose. Actually, let's find out. I'm gonna save this real quick just before I break it. So let's see. God, I already forgot how we go to bind pose. Skin, bind pose. You must select at least one joint. Oh yeah, see. It's been a while. Where are the joints? Hello. Oh my god, this rig. One of these days, I just want to use like a very basic character and see if I can just use all these like tools that I've learned about recently and just like animate something super simple, because this is like, what is going on here? Oh my god, I wouldn't know how to fix it if something broke, you know? And I don't have a tech artist on this because this is just a free rig that I downloaded online. Let's see. I think I've got joints here, right? Yeah, okay. So now what happens? Unable to determine shape. That's great. Also, I realize now I had tried to do bind skin, not go to bind pose, but that's why it didn't like the fact that I didn't have a joint selected. But it doesn't want to do that anyway. So it's a good thing I saved our key, because we can't go to bind pose for whatever reason. And if you're a technical animator, a TA, please make sure your characters can always go to bind pose. I don't know why this one can't, but that's no bueno. Alright, so let's get our first pose here. So what I am paying attention to here, we're looking at this front guy. We've got his left front leg is on the ground, and his back two legs are off the ground, and it looks like his hooves are curved behind him a little bit, and he's got this front hoof here. So we're just gonna go ahead and pose that out. Now, usually I like to work in stepped Oh, you know what I realized? I'm gonna have trouble. When I'm doing loops like this, I like to do infinity offset, like animate in infinity so that we can see the loop and like shift things around. But if I have a key saved on -1, that's gonna be troublesome. I won't be able to do that, so I might have to change that. But anyway, as I was saying, I do like to usually animate in stepped when I'm blocking out an animation. We might do that just for the first couple poses on this, but since we're doing a cycle, I don't stay in stepped very long because, oops, let's turn that back to reference, because we want to see how it's moving, like the speed of it and everything like that. So, oof, that's not pretty. So why is this? Okay, so what I don't like about this here is I want his knee thing to go forward. How do I get it to do that? Like, I want this. I want to animate the knee part. Don't tell me this person messed up the IK stuff. Oh, God. What do these do here? Oh, no. That's just foot roll. Foot roll. Oh, this could be bad. So this is the shape I want. Okay. Yeah, this is not... This is no bueno. Alright, there's gotta be a way. There's no way. That's just a pull vector. Did this person seriously not put in a way for us to animate this knee? Let's see. Oops. Oh boy. Like, here we go. There, that's the shape that I want in that foot. But now look at how gross this is. Oh no, you guys. Maybe this rig isn't gonna work out as well as I thought. This is gonna be like a shitload of counter animating. Ah! What is happening here? Oh my god. Huh. Okay, well, this is kind of bad, you guys. Oh. I did all that yabbering, and then now... Alright, I'm not giving up just yet. We're gonna... Alright, I don't want to animate in FK, but I just want to see what kind of shape we get if we do this. You look so funny. Oh, fudge. Will... Like that, I mean, it doesn't look great. I wish we could do more with his shoulder here. But that's not the end of the world, so why can't I get that shape in IK? What do the rear legs look like? They're gonna have the same problem, aren't they? Yeah, there's like no way for us to... I guess the rear legs won't be quite as bad because they're built differently. But obviously, I'm not gonna animate very well in IK. So we need to figure this out here. There's gotta be something I'm missing. Why is there there's a layer in here that says not working? Why would somebody leave a layer in here that says not working? What is that? It is some facial stuff. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. My feedback for this person is they did not rig the front IK very well. So I guess what we're just gonna have to do is counter animate this control here. I thought that was gonna be like our scapula control. Front rump? Wait. Oh god. Why is this called front rump? The rump is not on the front. Whatever. Okay. Alright, so this is our scapula control, I guess. And this is what we're gonna have to animate to make his knee go forward like this. Alright. And it'll do, I guess. This is the problem with using free rigs. I want to use free rigs so that you guys can access this kind of stuff if you want to. But it's really infuriating sometimes. Alright, let's get this show on a road. On the road. Not a road. The road. Left view. Okay, so I do like to animate in pose in orthographic when I'm just starting out. Starblast, batch 3. You are a great teacher. The way you teach, it's really good. I'm a beginner in animation. I'm doing it more than 2 months. This is very advanced for me, but I love to watch. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, and like as far as like skill level and everything, I'm just kind of doing the animation that I enjoy doing, but you know, starting out, it's like I didn't have any viewers, so if there's something more basic that you want me to do sometime, by all means, let me know. But as you said, there's always something you can learn, right? Like even as a beginner, it's very important to understand the use of video reference, right? So like no matter what you're doing, even if you're doing a bouncing ball exercise, you still want to use video reference and you want to analyze that video reference and understand, okay, why is this ball bouncing this high? How long is it lasting in the air? You know, like a beach ball versus a bowling ball, how are those going to bounce? Well, the best way to understand that is to watch and observe either online or to get a beach ball or a bowling ball and drop it yourself. Be careful with the bowling ball though. You know, don't want you to get hurt, but yeah. Okay. Hopefully we can make this work here. Alright, the other thing I want to look at in this video reference is we want to see the up and down motion and how that happens on this character, or on this animal rather. For that, maybe we'll do this sideways slow motion so we can see the angle of his body is pointing up as his front legs are coming forward, and then the rear is pointing up as his back legs are in the air, which, you know, that all makes pretty good sense, doesn't it? So the passing pose is kind of like he's on his way back up here. We also don't want to forget to actually give some rotation in this. This character does have FK controls, but I am choosing to animate in IK because I just think that's going to be easier. I'm glad that this head has stabilized motion, because if I was moving this around and rotating it and stuff and the head wasn't staying in place, that would be a problem. But we would have fixes for it, but it would be annoying. It's also very weird that this horn, I guess we could animate the horn. I mean, even if you're doing cartoony, I feel like that's going to extremes, but I suppose it's nice to have the option, right? Let's see. We want his foot to be a little bit more underneath him. And, you know, we're probably going to adjust this a bit as time goes on, but let's get that. He's got the rear up a little. And the other thing that you'd want to do on these is, like, there's an element of stretching and compressing. So if you see his body here is stretched, and then as his hind legs are coming forward and his front legs are backwards, you can see it compress. So, you know, back to our animation fundamentals, stretch and squash. It's even happening in this bison here. You can track parts of your reference to. It will help you understand the arc that the body is following, so you have solid understanding of what the arcs in your animation should look like. Yes, that is a very good point, CGI Future. If you do want to do that, though, I recommend doing that on a video like this one, where the camera is static. So you could draw on your, you could use some kind of tool to draw on your screen with and track that motion if you wanted to. Whereas if you tried to track the motion on this one, because the camera is moving, it might not give you super accurate results. And I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this key here, because I am going to want to put this on an infinity loop, and that's just going to mess it up. So, oops, I already lost my pose. Where is it? All right, so the left in the passing pose with the left hoof on the ground, the left back foot is lagging behind the front foot a little bit. And let's see, we probably also want these a little closer together. And rotate it under like so. And don't worry about the tail for now. That's going to be a thing that I do at the end. So we will animate it, but not at this time. Now his His hips will probably not be too much side to side right here because his hind legs are kind of together. But we will rotate it down just a little there. And I think his head should be down just a little. You know, we might want to see... Does this have a control? Yes, it has a global control. Cool. So if we turn this on, and I'm just going to key that. Now if we rotate this, awesome. I do have a script that would allow me to do that manually, but this is better. Can you make a series of animation where you teach us in beginner level means from A to Z? I'm not sure what you mean by from A to Z, but if you mean like how to get started in animation at all, I could, you know, like make a video brushing on the basics and like the progress you could do. I do feel like there are a lot of tutorials out there already for like super beginner stuff, like bouncing balls and like overlapping motion and talking about the principles of animation. So if you're having trouble finding that content, I recommend looking on YouTube. Also, if you go to 11 Second Club, they tend to have links to some beginner stuff as well. I am trying to do a little bit more intermediate stuff just because I feel like there's not as much free content available for that level. By the way, love from India. Well, thank you for joining. I hope it's a decent hour of the day for you over there. It is 9 a.m. for me here, so I got up early so that I could stream for all my friends over on the other side of the world, because when I do my afternoon streams on Saturdays, it's usually like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. for people from India. So if I'm correct, it's evening for you there now, right? Like maybe 9 or 10 p.m., something like that. Okay. Let's just go ahead and, oops. Save that pose there, save that pose here. And let's see. Okay. Let's find our halfway pose. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16. Okay. Yeah, see, this is tricky because it's not like super symmetrical like a human, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is our halfway in between pose, which is crazy. So it looks like at this pose, all but the front left foot are on the ground. So let's give that a try. This is a challenge for me too. Like I said, I haven't done a quadruped cycle since I was in school, which was a long time ago in the galaxy far, far away. And I don't know how well I'm going to do. It is 1 a.m. here in Australia, but I had to see the live stream and it's great so far. I do enjoy your content. Well, thank you so much. Much love from Australia. It is, I believe, if I'm correct, it is Australia on a Tuesday, right? So it's just, you're earlier than me instead of later. Whereas, like, India is ahead of me in time zone. But yeah, I appreciate you hanging out. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream so far. I do like to try and zero things out quite a bit when I'm in my blocking phase so that I'm not accidentally getting some weird stuff going on. Also, we are definitely going to make adjustments to this because I do want to make sure that our feet are like planted on the ground, you know. Right now we're just doing this in a treadmill fashion, but it's good practice to make sure that your character is like traveling at the proper speed, because like the last thing we want is for their feet to be moving all at different speeds. So all right, I'm gonna take a look at this view from behind here just to see like how close their hooves are like to each other when they're on the ground. It's kind of hard to tell from that. Oh, come on, quick time. Yeah, so you can see like here their feet, let's make this a little bigger. Their feet are like not terribly close together, but also not super far, and then it looks like they kind of spread out when they hit the ground there. Which again is also opposite of humans, because when humans walk, our feet are closer to each other when they're on the ground, and then as we pick our feet up, we pull them out to the side, because otherwise we just like slap our ankles together all the time. Let's see, so this is pretty much the stretched, not quite actually. You know, that's honestly probably what I should have done for my start and end poses, is do the stretched and compressed versions. You know, I might, it's not too late, I might actually do that. We're gonna save what we have here, and I'm just gonna shift it. So we're gonna start with the most compressed pose, just because I think that'll be easier from a body standpoint. So that's gonna be right foot on the ground, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So our stretched out pose is here, which is 6 frames before what we have for our starting pose. So let's do, oh, I could do my fancy little trick that I taught in my graph editor video. Not that I need to at this point, because we don't have that many keys, so it's pretty easy to be precise when we're dragging. But what we could do is just go plus equals 6, and then we don't even have to count. All right, this is not the proper key here, but I'm going to use it as a starting point. Oh man, look at it, guys. Isn't it so good? Isn't this the best quadruped run cycle you've ever seen? Oh boy. Okay. On that note, then let's find our stretched out. So we've got, oh wait, that was supposed to be our stretched out. Okay. And then, hey, it worked out, because our compressed pose is about 3 frames after the the passing pose that we have, which would be right here. Oh, except that's not halfway through. Whoops. Something's not right here in my math. All right. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Huh. I guess maybe I was just like a frame too short. Because 17 would be our loop frame, right? So actually this is probably okay. All right, so this is our compressed pose here now. Oh my god. This is harder than I thought, you guys. What am I doing? It's good to see people struggle, right? That means you're not alone. Lols. Alright, let's take a look here again. The compressed pose is like there's no feet on the ground. Is this guy running the same as the other one? Yes. So it's about to touch with his back right foot during the compressed pose. And this should be up a little. Oh, I forgot to just like save a key on everything here. Oops. Why is that? Yeah, okay. So we do want this little like so. So I'm looking here, his leg is coming forward a little more than I had it in this pose, so. Suma Amdas says, I just want to say never stop, you are doing a great job. Thank you. This is a struggle right now. And I'm afraid to press play, because I know what it's gonna look like. Let's see what it looks like. Oh god. Yeah. For starters, actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Whee! Yeah, let's just gotta keep massaging it, you know. The important part is to not give up. Okay. I think I'm actually gonna just delete this pose after I save a key, because it's just bothering me now. Oh god. Except that really changed things, didn't it? Alright, fine, we'll leave it there. Maybe we'll just scoot it back a frame. It's sort of working. Alright, let's make a better stretched pose here. Give some tips for beginners. Well, stretch and squash. Study your principles. Because I'm applying the principles right now. Even in a bison run cycle, there is stretch and squash. You can see his body right here is stretched out, and then it compresses right there. And so this is why knowing the 12 principles is very important, because you apply them everywhere. Also use video reference. That is, I cannot say that enough. Video reference, video reference, video reference. Do you know how much more I would be struggling right now if I wasn't using video reference? Yikes. Don't even want to think about it. Alright, just so I don't get all messed up, I'm going to double check here and make sure that these two bison that I'm referencing are running the same way. So I'm looking at this guy in the front here. So he puts his left foot back left foot down first, right? Yeah. Or no, sorry. He puts his back right foot down first. And so does this one. And then puts his right front foot down after his back left foot. And that is also what this one is doing. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I'm not gonna accidentally mess up my reference here. Because I like the far away view for the timing purposes, since this other one is in slow motion. But the slow motion one is good for close-up views of what I'm trying to animate. Alright, so our stretched pose here. Oh, another beginner tip is to spend a lot of time on your blocking, your idea, your blocking. Don't just like dive into animating something. Make sure you've got it all figured out what you want to do. Can you tell me how to manage keyframe on timeline? I'm not sure what you mean by that exactly, but if you mean like to move your keyframes around on your timeline, you can either grab them in your graph editor like so, and either drag this around or say -=3, however many frames you want to change it, or you can shift left click and drag over your keyframe, and then you can click on this button here and you can move your keyframe on the timeline like so. I don't know if that's what you were asking or not, so feel free to elaborate more if that's not quite what you were trying to say. This is too high energy for the morning. Okay, so left foot is not on the ground yet. right foot is. And this left foot. That's actually in a pretty good spot. This should maybe be a little stretched out. This one is back a ways. And we want to rotate this forward, or maybe that's not going to work. Okay, so the first problem here is I compressed a lot more with the back than I did the front, and I want this to be somewhat even of a compression between the two. So let's do this at 2.5. And oh yeah, this didn't even get compressed at all, did it? Oh, why is this still? Oh, I just like went way too far with this. So that went up to +3 and this went to -7. So let's try -3. That's a little better. Okay. Whew. Quadrupeds, man. This is tough. I mean, when the timeline filled with keyframe, how I remember that keyframe is used for the movement or something like that. Ah, I see what you mean. No worries. Like, it's totally fine. I just, yeah, sorry that I don't always understand exactly what you mean, but I think I get it now. Yeah, and my animation obviously isn't a good example because we only have a few keyframes. That is a good question. When I'm getting the basics of my animation going, I try to use as few of keyframes as possible for that very reason. So, for example, even though like eventually these are all going to have very separate keyframes, I'm trying to keep it very simple so that I can change the timing around a bit. And then once I get it to a place that I like it, that's when I start like putting keys on a bunch of different frames. And my best advice for that is getting used to using your graph editor. Because if you're just like looking at all these keys on the timeline, you don't actually know what they're doing. But if you look in your graph editor, you can actually see, oh, this is moving in Z here, and it's like, oh, this curve doesn't quite look very nice because it's going up and then down, and it's not got a nice curve to it. So then you can start tweaking this, and maybe it would, maybe this would come back a little bit to make it more of an even motion and stuff like that. So yeah, at some point, once I'm past like my blocking stage, I tend to use a graph editor a lot more than the timeline so that I know what keys belong where. Hopefully that's helpful. But yeah, try to keep your blocking stage in as few keys as possible. All right, so as the feet are coming forward here in the back, we want this to rotate like so. And then as they're kicking off the ground, which will kind of be here. Thanks for your valuable tips. Yeah, sure. Hopefully I answered your question there. And same with the front here. We want it rotating out. Okay, so this is the point now where I'm gonna start putting these on infinity so that I can shift my keys around. The walk cycle and run cycle I treat quite a bit differently than like a action piece or a storytelling piece, because we just want all these curves to work seamlessly together. All right, I'm gonna get some resemblance of this foot planting on the ground now, or these feet planting on the ground, so I can better evaluate this motion here. So again, we are going to definitely make sure that our feet are all moving at the same speed, and that'll be pretty soon here. But for now, I just want to try and get these planted for the right number of frames. Let's see. What did I do here? Oh, yeah, okay. I am really bad at remembering to save my file when I'm streaming. That's no bueno. Let's see, we also want a little bit better down and up in this guy here. Let's just grab, oh, did we not? I thought I selected all these keys and did. Yeah, what the heck? Okay, that worked now. Weird. All right, so we want the up and down of the chest to be a little bit before the legs. Oops. So it comes up, and then it's gonna come down before the feet are completely planted, but this is a little too early here. Oops. Why is my thing not in cycle? That's so weird. Okay, it's just being very finicky, I guess. Let's also fix this stretching here. So here's our compress. Let's shift that a key. And how about this guy? That one's properly cycled. That's a little better. This guy needs some better up and down motion. That is so weird. Why are my keys not all... what is going on? This button that I have to select all of these just must not actually be selecting everything like I thought it was. Come on. Come on now. Cycle. Did it work? No. Yes. Okay, it's just sticking because my animation is bad. Oops. Okay. That's looking a little better in the body. I guess the other thing we could do is actually... Nah, I don't want to do that. That could... The problem with animating in the IK like I'm doing is that can make the character feel kind of disjointed, whereas like this makes it feel like it's all in line. Oh, look at that. It leaves the teeth behind. That's fun. Oh, that's just a graphical bug. Okay. But I think I maybe just want to leave that here for now. I think it's looking okay as far as like believability and the body being one unit, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Alright, I need to go use the restroom, guys, so I will be back in a few minutes. Just leave the music running for y'all, but I'm gonna turn off my microphone. Alright, I'm back. Haven't finished my coffee yet. Okay, let's get our foot planting situation figured out here, and then we'll make sure that they're all gonna be on the ground at the same time. Or I mean, they're gonna go at the same speed, rather. So this guy is a problem still. I think he should be on the ground longer than this. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oops, kind of like 5 or 6 here. How about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, each foot is on the ground for about 6 frames. It's hard to tell exactly because the grass is like in the way of his hooves, but like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I think it's like fully planted for 6 frames, each foot is, and then they come off the ground after that. So we'll find our first contact poses for each of these. I messed this up already. This foot should be a little farther back on this frame. So that one touches the ground, and then 1, 2, only for about 1 frame is this one fully on the ground after our other leg touches. So I guess that's about right, but it should probably be a little farther back here. Right? My God, this is really hard to see. Ah! Now I have... Oh my God, what's happening? Yeah, so he touches 1 frame, and then it looks like the front leg is starting to peel off right after that. Which means this one should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, that's about right. Look at that. What do you know? It's not moving in a linear fashion, but right now I'm just trying to get them on the ground for the right amount of time. So how about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not even close. Okay, looks like maybe it's not hitting the ground soon enough. It's about 3 frames after the front leg touches the ground, so let's just move that forward. Something's not right here, guys. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. Should still be on the ground. Okay. That actually does seem right. So maybe I had this frame a little too early for this guy. Let's keep him on the ground for the full 6 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then our Z, the movement in Z when the foot is planted should actually be linear, like perfectly linear. Because technically the foot isn't like actually moving in world space. You know, if we weren't doing this on a treadmill, it would be zeroed out here. But since we're doing a loop, we want this to be just, oops, linear. So that way when we actually translate his control forward in a linear fashion, since it's moving at a constant speed, that means the feet are planted at a constant speed as well. Whoops, that's not the right one. There we go. So now you can see he's perfectly linear. But now we want to make sure that this distance is the same on all of our feet. So let's get ourselves a handy dandy calculator here. Come on. Oh, derp. All right. Oh my God, what's happening? Come on, Windows. What's happening? Get out of here. Hello. Oh boy. This is fun. Is my Explorer crashing? That's cool. Ah! Oh my God. All the things. What's happening? Ah! Oh dear God. Okay. I wanted my taskbar to be hidden. Thank you. Thank you, Windows. Alright. Let's try this again. Gonna save my file now that we had that scare. Okay, so this guy is hitting... they don't have to be like the same exact values when they touch. They just need to be moving at a constant speed when they're on the ground. So this one, he starts at 30.724 and ends at -14. So we'll do plus 14. Oops. Ah! Okay. Oh my God. I'm having troubles here. Let's try this again. So, you know what? We're just gonna make this a nice 30.5. So 30.5 plus 14.813. We're gonna do 14.5. Okay, so that makes it a nice 45 units that the foot is moving on the ground. So let's see if we can do that with this one too. So it touches the ground here. We'll do 18. And then it picks up at -20. Well, that's not the same at all. So we want it to at least be somewhat close. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly the same, you know, 30.5, but let's have it be close. So let's have this be 28. And then this should be -17. Did I math that right? Way we can find out. Minus equals 45. I did math it right. Woohoo! Okay. So what I want to do here to get this in between pose is, let's see, 1, 2 frames. So we'll go middle mouse. So what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing this frame and I'm middle mouse clicking to copy the frame. So then we go 1, 2, and we put that there. Gonna turn this into linear and this into linear. So that way we have our key here and we can save it there as well. And now these go linear. Then we can delete this key so that it loops. And huzzah! All right, so those 2 feet are on the ground at the proper speed. So now let's get the back feet. Was this supposed to be the frame that had touched the ground? The back right foot touches the ground before the front right foot. Yes, that is correct. But how many? Oops. Man, I keep clicking away from my QuickTime and then I lose all my QuickTime windows. 1, 2, 3. It's about 3 or 4 frames before our front one touches. And he touches here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that can't be right. Something's off here. Let's take a look again. Okay, so the front right, or sorry, the right back leg touches about here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, about 5 frames, I guess. So let's do that at 52. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this foot is on the ground too long. So then this should be 5. Why is my brain having trouble mathing this right now? This doesn't seem like it's going far enough here. Unless the back leg should be on the ground for an additional frame. Okay, so let's see. The way I want to do this, I guess, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this should be 90. And then we can get our position here. Make that linear. So now the foot is on the ground for 1 frame longer than the front foot, but it's still moving at the same speed. So that's the important part. But we actually want this back a little farther here. And then once it's off the ground, it doesn't really matter how it's moving there. So the other back leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, about 5 frames after its counterpart. So one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, that's about where we had it. Cool. But let's see. This one landed at 45.81. So we want this to be not too far off. Yeah, let's make this a little nicer. Hang on. $45.821 plus 6.679. Okay. So with an extra frame on the ground, it's moving 52.5. This is when math comes in handy for animation. Yay! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is where we want. What am I doing wrong here, guys? Oh, duh. This is not the right frame here. I messed that up. This is the frame that we want it to land. Okay. 52.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that right? Hmm. We're gonna slide that back just 1 frame. Let's see. Make sure we got the right timing here, or number rather. All right. Okay, so even though they're on the ground at a certain amount of time, the foot's still gonna like kick back a little bit after it takes off. But, oh, what happened here? We don't have to worry about like it being in linear space is the thing. Oops. I don't know if I want to use this toe roll thing or not. I guess maybe. Not really too much though. All right, we're going to put, actually, before I put a motion trail on this, we're going to see if we've got this properly moving in space. So let's see, it was 45. Every 6 frames. So 45 times 5. It's moving at 225 technically meters per second, but that's obviously not right. Units per second based on the size of this rig that is not properly sized. So if we just do this and make this linear, it looks like Oh, it's not quite right. Rip. What did I do wrong here? One, two, three, four. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, okay. For some reason I was... Oh no, did I mess this up now? 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my god, what did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is not right. I had his back legs on the ground for way too long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, okay, that is 6. What's the problem then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's the deal? Oh, I'm dumb. It should be at frame 29, that's why. It's still not... Look at that. It's still not right. That's because I did it... oh my god. Yeah. So 45 times 5. What did I do wrong, guys? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's on the ground for 45 units for over 6 frames. I don't understand what's happening. Why did this not work? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why is this not at 45? Oh, I can't math. What's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Should be 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 135. 1, 2. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 135. 180. Yeah, alright. Somehow I messed this up. But let's see if this works now. I'm sure somebody's dying inside right now that I can't figure this out. Well, that worked. At least for his front feet, not his back feet. Because I done something wrong. Alright, so why... Okay, if this is 20, then that means at 40, he should be 360 in Z. It's 261. I did something wrong in my math there, but... Okay, so the back legs should go 54 if they're on the ground for 6 frames then. Or I mean 7 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're on it for 8. So I think... I want to back this up just a frame and Oops, actually, I meant to go the other way. If I back it up, I meant delay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's what I said, right? I needed 54. Yeah. This is why it's easier when you have your walk or run speed figured out before you start working, and then you just end up matching it to whatever that is. So like in my game, it's like 3.5 meters per second or something. So you don't even have a choice of how fast the character is moving. Ugh, I did it again. Okay. That should be all set to go. Alright, well in any case, guys, I need to wrap up the stream soon as I have to start my day job in a few minutes. So, if anybody has any questions, I'll hang out for a few more minutes. And otherwise, I'm planning on continuing this on Thursday at the same time, so 2 days from now. And hope you all can make it. Alright, let's turn this off. Actually, you know what we could just do is we're just going to mute this channel so we can keep it on there for if we ever need it. Alright, so we've at least got our cycle figured out and we've got our feet planted appropriately. Obviously, they're not like coming up off the ground enough, but we'll address that in our next stream. In any case, I think that is a good stopping point. So thank you guys for joining me today, or thank you for watching this after the fact. I appreciate both, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.